Gas masks and hand grenades. Gas masks and hand grenades. Gas masks and hand grenades. Gas masks and hand grenades.
Welcome to Gas Masks and Hand Grenades. I am your host, Jeff, and with me today, one of these directions, I always screw it up. Every single time I've done 120 of these interviews or more, and I always point the wrong direction because it's always the opposite. Mr. Carmelo Orlando from Novembre. How are you, sir? We'll pretend we haven't already talked.
I'm good. Thank you very much. I hope you are okay too.
Yeah, I'm hanging in there, man. The world's a strange place these days, indeed. Of course, indeed. I'm sure you're well aware of that.
Yeah.
So, especially over here in this country, that's all we'll say on that. So, but listen, man, it's great to have you here. I gotta say that, you know, as I mentioned to you, I think I came into the band Novembre somewhere around Novembrian Waltz. So, going pretty far back. We're looking at 35 years now, roughly, right?
Well, 35 years would be the beginning of the whole thing. Like, was 91 when we started off as Catacomb, which was a death metal, Swedish-oriented, carcass-oriented band.
Mm-hmm.
And after a few years, 3-4 years, we decided to rename the band to Novembre. It was 94. And our first album came out, Wish I Could Dream It Again. So the album you're mentioning, it came out in 2001, if I don't remember. Yeah, must be that. So yeah, a lot of years, like 24 years since you.
Been a long time, huh? Been a long run, right?
Yeah.
Well, the reason we're here today, and it's been a while since you've probably done a lot of these press type things, right? It's been, you know, Novembre has been kind of in, shall I call it a hibernation? Is that a good word for it? Kind of in hibernation for about a decade now, almost 9 years. Your last album that you put out was URSA back in 2016. And you've been with Peaceville all of the career of Novembre, or no?
No, almost. Yeah, almost.
Most of the career that, And that the interesting little dynamic here is that looking back at that, there was a 9-year gap between The Blue, which I love that album, man. It's such a great album, such an amazing album. Between The Blue and URSA was a 9-year gap, and now
that was a 7 year. But
was it 7?
7 is still a long time anyway.
Yeah, it is. In the music world, 7 years is an eternity, right? You know?
That's right.
I mean, 3 months is a long time, you know, between.
That's right.
So, but the reason we're here, and I'll bring it up here because I have a copy on order. I have a vinyl copy on order, but of course, the album doesn't drop until November 7th on Peaceville. And what we're talking about here is the new Novembre album. And let me just pull this up here a sec here. And there's the artwork right there. Words of Indigo is the title of the new album, again, which comes out on Peaceville on November 7th. I've had the album now for a couple weeks, and, you know, lots going on. I was doing a lot of traveling for shows and whatnot here recently, and so I only really got to really sit down and dig into it in the last week or so. And I'll be very blunt with you, Carmelo. I wasn't sure what to expect. It had been a long time. To be completely honest with you, I just never thought we were going to see any more albums. I just was like, you know, it was a time and place thing. Not every band lasts forever, and it's just kind of one of those things. So when I got the press release about this, I was like, whoa, wait a minute, hold it. Novembre is back? What? You got to be kidding me. And I instantly hit Austin up over at Secret Service PR, and I'm like, dude, you gotta get You got to get me Carmelo. I got to talk to him. I got to know what's going on with this, because this is one of my favorite bands. You guys really are a favorite band of mine, and I really thought you were dead and buried, but you're not. You're back.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about that. Like, what's been going on? Yes, the pandemic. We know the pandemic, but what's been happening? Because it's been 2016 was the last album.
Yeah. I try to explain. I mean, 2016 was the last album, and we spent the next couple of years promoting it with tours and festivals and whatnot. And it was time to write the new one when as you mentioned, the pandemic broke, and perhaps you heard that it was bad in Italy.
Yeah.
Like very, and but besides that, we weren't sure if we would ever come back to normalcy. I mean, venues would open and close again. This emergency would spike and go down again. And short story is that to write an album, to put together all the riffs, and it's time consuming and energy consuming. And I said, okay, what's the point in taking the big effort if we would never come back to normalcy? I mean, the vaccine weren't out yet.
Right.
And I mean, what if I write the new album and I put it in my drawer, and next year I don't like it anymore?
Yeah.
So let's just wait, because the riffs are already there. Now we only have to put them together. And I said I wanted to wait for the good time. And before you know it, it's 2023. And when the album is ready, it's almost 24. And the time to record it, the time to deliver it to the label. And here we go. We're in 2025, and you didn't even notice. Of course, without the pandemic, I think it would have been out 4 years ago.
Okay.
3 years ago.
So there was...
But still it took its time. I mean, we take our time. We also spend time trying to recruit the right guys, because we've had a lineup of people coming from the very south of Italy, and they would have to take a flight to come to Rome, and it wasn't doable anymore.
So you're in Rome. You're in Rome?
We were in Rome,
okay.
And these guys came from the extreme heel of Italy, and we wanted people from the town. We spent a lot of time finding the right guys.
Well, we should probably mention that one of your longtime bandmates, collaborators, can you say his name for me, just so I don't... Massimiliano. Longtime guitar player with you in the band, left. Now, have you really addressed that at all? It was just time for him to do something else? He wasn't as interested, or how'd that go down?
Oh yeah, it was really sad actually, because we really clicked together as songwriters, and there was a lot of duality between my parts and his parts, and but that's not what he wanted to do in life. Now he's doing something completely different from a long time, actually. I mean, he wasn't in the band from like 3-4 years. We just announced it now.
Okay.
But it was gone from a long time, and too bad, because I mean, by the way, he is still his footprint is a little bit in this album still, because as I mentioned, the riffs of the album are there from a long time.
Okay.
And one or two of his riffs came into the album, and yeah, fantastic.
So it's still, you guys, it wasn't an animus sort of thing. It was just hey man, I'm going to move on and do other things now. I've been doing this a long time, and it just doesn't look. I mean, sometimes people don't understand.
He wasn't happy. He wasn't happy with what he was doing and how the band was going. I mean, he wanted to do something perhaps more, I don't know, worthwhile, if you want.
Right.
So now he's taking care of art, and drawing and selling merchandise and stuff. I mean, something very far from the music business.
Okay. Well, I think, you know, you've been in the music business for a long time, so you know the epic highs and the epic lows. I mean, they're kind of, you got to be used to the emotional swing of things. When things are great, you're putting the music together, you're working on things, and there's a high, there's a creative energy that's going on. And then if you get out there and it doesn't hit the way you had hoped, and you don't blow up or become gigantic, then it feels, I can imagine that, you know, I'm an artist too. I write, I play, have been playing a long, long time. I'm probably a little bit older than you. I'm almost 60. So, you know, I played in a lot of bands just as a singer, as a guitarist. And you have to, at some point in time, sometimes you got to just go, you know, this is fun. This is a hobby to me at this point. It's not my life's work. But in the case of maybe yourself, where there's a little bit more of a focus on it being a little bit more your life's work as opposed to a hobby, it probably is difficult when there's not that great explosion, right?
Well, let me say you this. When I started, I thought it was a joke. I mean, I started as a grindcore band, and we eventually turned into death metal, bringing our grindcore things with us. And so I wasn't never into the scene for the success, because, you know, you cannot even dream of success being a grindcore band. You know,
there's one Napalm Death, that's it, right?
Or Napalm Death, and even minor bands like Vocalist. You know, I was really into it, and I still am somehow. So I mean, I would never think that would even get a little famous.
Right. Yeah.
I am not one of the guys who's into this for the fame and glory.
Yeah, this is about the love for creating, right?
Yeah, we are slaves to creation. I can't help it. Yeah. I write riffs even when I don't want to. Even when I'm sleeping, sometimes I have to wake up and run towards the guitar. Otherwise, I would forget the melody I got in my head.
Do you ever do that thing? Do you do that thing where you wake up, and you hum you have a thought in your head, you hum it into your cell phone, right?
I do.
I've done that too. Yeah. It's weird. And sometimes it sounded better when you were half asleep, and then when you listen back to it the next day, you're like, "Oh, this is kind of shit." But you know, hey, at least
that's right. It's never quite the same. Never.
Somebody here, Alex says, we met and shook hands and chatted with some smokes at a gig in London with Paradise Lost around 2007. There you go. Big fan of yours since old times. Nice to see you back. Yeah, we're all glad you're back. The new album, let's talk a little bit about that. Again, as I mentioned, I wasn't sure what to expect. In that, I think I kind of know your level of creativeness and what it's going to bring. So I had some expectations of what it would be. But when there's a long gap in between releases, you just don't know that the thing that made that band special to you is still going to be that thing. For example, good example, you brought up Carcass. Long time between Swan Song and Surgical Steel, right? So when Surgical Steel comes out, I'm like, I don't know about this shit. And it turns out to be maybe one of their best albums ever. This is, when I put this on, I kind of held my breath a minute. You know, I was kind of like, okay, I like the way that's leading in here. It's pretty cool. All right. And then it kicked in, and all of a sudden it was like, okay, this is the Novembre I love. It's going to be good. It's all going to be good. No problem here. And this album, for me, is a classic grower, meaning you have to sit with it at least once or twice to kind of let it wash over you. And by the next time around, you're like, oh, yeah, there's that melody I heard the first time. And now it's even better than when I heard it the first time. It was really good when I heard it the first time. Now it's great. So it's that kind of an album that it's a builder in a way. And I've probably got 10 listens in somewhere around there now.
What?
Yeah, I've listened. Yeah, I've listened to it. I've listened to it at least 2 or 3 times a day for the last 4 or 5 days. So
you gotta be
no,
kidding
dude,
me.
It's fucking great. It's really fantastic.
Wow.
So
thank you.
Yeah. I want to get into that a little bit, but what I did want to ask though was, and you kind of alluded to it, were all of these songs, or most of these songs, were the bare bones demos? Have they been there for many years, or have they been, or has it been sort of accumulating throughout the last 7 or 8 years before you actually started tracking and recording? Were you adding and subtracting and bringing things in and taking things out? In other words, were these songs all kind of like a moment in time from 7 or 8 years ago, or have they been accruing each year? You're coming up with new ideas and new adding to, pulling away, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, first off, I gotta say I'm really happy about what you said, that listening to the album many times, because I mean, it's a very long one and complex. So if someone tells me I've listened to it 2 or 3 times, I mean, that's a big success, because an album like this, I would expect someone to listen to it just one time and not even all of it. So
it is long.
wow.
You're right. It is long.
It is long, and I'm so glad that despite its longness, you still can go through the whole of it many times. I mean, wow, that's
well.
amazing thing.
Just to add to that, I feel it's my responsibility as a fan of a band, and I don't consider myself a music critic. I don't get paid to do this. This is a hobby. This is my love. Is talking to guys like you and exposing you guys to maybe a wider audience. I don't have a giant audience, but, you know, I will say you shared the information that we were having this interview today, and I got a lot of hits on that and a lot of interest. So it's like some people were like, oh my God, I can't believe they have a new album coming out. And, oh, they're back? You got to be kidding me. It's like, yeah, they're back. So that's all well and good. And that's my whole purpose in doing this. But also, Carmelo, as a fellow musician, I really must take time, unless I put it on in the first 2 or 3 tracks. It's like, oh God, okay, I've heard this shit before. I don't, yeah, it's been done way better by better bands, that kind of thing. Unless I note that right away, I have to do my due diligence. I have to put myself into the album. I have to put myself deep into the album and really focus on what's going on. And you said it. This is a long album with very dense, layered, lots of layers to this in both the music, the vocal layers. Everything is very meticulously mixed by the extraordinary mixer, of course, Mr. Dan Swano. He's been on the show. Great guy, fantastic, Edge of Sanity. The guy's a legend, of course. And he's been doing your stuff for quite a few years, I believe. So, but this is an album that is an onion. You know, I hate to use that analogy, but it's a very good analogy for this album, because you peel back one layer and there's like, oh, there's something. Oh, I didn't hear that before. That's pretty cool. It's like a layered onion, right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. It's a good analogy. And, you know, I still maintain that this album is an onion, but I think it's already good from the outside. Oh, yeah. Then you willingly peel it. Because why I say that? Because some of our past albums didn't have this quality. I mean, yeah, you would enjoy it, but maybe listen to it again in a month or so. This one you want to listen again. I mean, I've been told that, and I'm so proud of it. So to answer your previous question, there's only one song that comes from the previous era. I mean, the URSA era, which is called Chiesa dell'Alba, which means Church of Dawn.
So good.
Yeah, and it didn't fit into the album, so it stayed there. For the others, the thing with me works this way. I write a single riff, I record it, and I put it in the folder. And when it's time, I just choose the best ones, and I try to put a song together out of it. So riffs themselves can be very old, but my attempt on creating a song that's very recent should be no older than 2 years.
Okay.
So at some point I said, okay, now it's time. And I focused on it. and put everything together the best way I could. And home recording helped, because without it,
What do you use? Do you use Logic?
No,
or?
I use a very elementary thing. I'm on Audacity.
Oh wow! Okay, you go way back. Yeah,
I go way back, and I mean,
you're comfortable with it.
oh yeah, sure. I mean, still it's a problem for the others, because you can't record lines. You have to record the full distorted sound, and otherwise the computer would freeze.
Oh wow!
And,
really?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm very happy with it. I mean, without this technology, an album like this wouldn't have been even remotely possible.
Yeah, that's very true. Did so if I'm understanding you correctly, then a lot of this album, did you demo tracks first originally, just mainly yourself with like drum programming, and then fly everybody else's parts in from?
In the process, so, as I put them together, I send everything to the others, and the others would put solos, the actual drums, and the bass parts, and maybe doing the rhythms a little better, more various, more tasty.
Okay, right.
And yeah, that happens in the meanwhile.
So just so I'm clear, none of this was actually tracked in like a studio, like a professional studio. It's all mostly home recorded. Yeah, okay. Which we can do now. I mean, you can make an excellent quality if you have a good mixer and master, which you have one of the very best, of course. So you can make a studio sounding recording in your home studio anymore at this point, right? And like you said, you couldn't have done it without this technology, right?
This is the case. I mean, we just recorded the lines of the guitars. We sent everything to Don Swanno, just the lines, even the bass and the drums itself. I mean, Don would replace the sound of the snare, the toms, and everything. So it's like actually being there in Germany with him.
Okay.
Without just being home.
What kind of I'm assuming you're using a multitude of plugins. What are you using as far as like your basic bed tracks for like rhythms and cleans and things? What program are you using?
No, I'm not using programs or plugins. I have my very old Bose pedal GTA.
Okay, yeah, a multi-effects processor then.
Multi-effect. I use it. I mean, I have 3 sounds: distorted, lead, clean, and a couple of crunch sounds.
Okay.
That's it. Then it's Don Swanno's duty to find the actual.
He figures out how to put it all together.
He figures out what to come up with, yes.
Wow. So he has a lot of work to do with you guys then in some respects, right?
Oh, yeah. We are a pain in the ass.
I know you're paying him. I know. I get it. Yeah. And again, I have to reiterate this album, like, to be honest with you, all of the recent, Materia, The Blue, Novembre, Dreams d'Azur, these are very melodically complex albums. There's a lot going on. There's a lot. I kind of liken it to sort of an interweaving of things, that you don't just have like, a super heavy crushing riff, let me think. Well, even like maybe like an early Carcass record where you just had sort of one rhythm sound and a lead over top of it. This is a multitude of things. You've got cleans and distorted and lead lines, and it's a very dense fabric of material that I'm hearing here. Would you agree with that?
Yes. And my endeavor here was to make it make something so complex, make it listenable and not boring. And so that's why I took my time in developing softer parts. Like, for example, there is a little how do you say, soft part right after House of Rain. Then there's an instrumental called intervallo, and
Right.
all these pieces, they will help you listening to the album without getting tired, you know.
Right. Yeah, they're kind of like there's 2 or 3 interludes on the album
Interludes.
that just
That's
kind of
right.
leave you into the next track. And you bring up House of Rain. Wow. Boy,
I
man.
mean, seriously, without them, I mean, I have a version of the album without them, and it's really heavy. I mean, it's too much to bear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Again, is the album, it comes in just a little bit under 70 minutes, right? I believe it's about 62,
60 something minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have any worries about that in the fact that nowadays, you and I are of the age that we come from that era in the 90s where you overloaded a CD, man. Like all the record companies wanted 70 minutes, 75 minutes of material because that was the norm at one point in time. It's kind of reverting back to the old days where now 40 minutes is kind of the sweet spot because let's be honest, thanks to this thing, none of us have the attention span anymore.
That's right.
I think you're trying to make that point throughout here is that it's hard to lock in. I mean, you and I are not of the TikTok generation, I'm gathering, right? I'm not. I just don't. I like the long form interview. I like the long form album, the conceptual album, things like that, which we'll get to here in a minute. But this thing is going to be the end of the world. I'm pretty well convinced of it at this point. I think it's the end of mankind in some way, shape, and form. Not getting into the implications of AI, but the fact that we struggle because of so much information that's coming at us constantly 24/7, we don't have a lot of downtime in our brains to kind of center ourselves and go, all right, I need to just shut this shit out from the outside for a little bit and go inside a little bit and just calm myself, right? The great thing about this album, Carmelo, is that for all of its I digress for a minute here. I believe that from the early inception of Novembre to where you are the last few albums, maybe probably from Dreams d'Azur on up, you guys have become much more of a progressive metal band as opposed to a death metal or black metal band. You bring elements of death and black into it, but you guys, to me, are not really a death metal or you're more of a progressive metal band in a lot of ways. And maybe not and I don't want that to insult you. So if so, just tell me if it is. But what I'm getting, and I don't mean it in the Dream Theater way, which I love Dream Theater.
No, yeah, I understand what you say. I understand what you say. I mean, we come from, bands like, My Dying Bride. They can put up a song of 10 minutes, which has a very complex structure, or Opeth, like in the Orchid.
Opeth, yes.
Orchid, they can put together songs of 9 minutes, 8 minutes. This is how I envision an album, a song. And not all of them, because, there are 2 very easy songs in this album, which is Your Holocene, Your Holocene and Post-Poetic, which are very easy songs, but there are very complex ones. And
when you say easy, do you know what I think of with those songs? There is an element of underlying some of the songs here, in particular those 2, but I would also say House of Rain even has a bit of it too. There's a bit of, dare I say, poppiness to it.
That's absolutely right.
And it's good poppy. It's really ear candy poppy. Not schmaltzy, not garbage pop, but really complex pop, I think is a better way to put it. Complex.
Yeah, I am a big fan of everything Duran, old U2, R.E.M., Tears for Fears,
Tears for Fears.
Old The Cure, old Smiths. When I say old, because I don't like the recent stuff. So, yeah, totally.
I definitely
Totally.
hear some Cure throughout many of these tracks for sure. Like mid-period Cure, probably like Head on the Door.
And although, I mean, I'm big fan of the era pornography.
Oh,
Yeah,
Pornography for sure. Yes, that
yeah.
washy. It's kind of a little bit shoegazy. You guys always had a shoegazy vibe, but not like straight on my Bloody Valentine, shoegaze, but more from the Cocteau Twins vibe. You know what I mean?
Right,
That
yeah.
kind of shimmering, sort of washy, gauzy, dreamlike thing. Your music is very dreamlike. It's
You named the right one. I would
yeah.
also mention Dead Can Dance, but
Oh,
well,
of course, of course. Yeah,
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 yeah. Let's talk a little bit about some of these tracks. I want to kind of talk about the album a little bit, if you don't
yeah.
mind. As I said, I've given it a lot of time, and I'm happy to say that, because I would have a tough time doing this interview with you if I said, well, I listened to it twice and it's okay, it's pretty good, but but I think I can say with a great level of assuredness that I put my time in, and this will be in my. We do a top 25 of 25 at the end of the year. This will be ranking quite high. I don't know where. It's too early to tell. I don't want to give my thoughts away too much yet, but this one's going to be pretty up there, I think.
Thank
So.
you.
But let's talk a little bit about Sun Magenta. Now, you've got a lot of references to color. Obviously, indigo is the color blue. It's a type of blue. And if you look at the artwork here, let me do this real fast. Let me see if I can pull this back up here. I just want to pull the artwork up. Travis Smith, you've been with Travis forever, right?
That's right.
And, he really, man, just what a beautiful art. It's just a beautiful abstract art piece in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about this artwork.
Well, as you can see, it perfectly represents the title. I mean, there is the smoke coming out of the mouth of the guy or the girl, I don't know, which reminds you of the comics, when someone is talking. So Wars of Indigo. And what can I say? The title of the album itself, it means to replace concepts with feelings. And because
Blue meaning sadness? Blue meaning sadness, kind of? Or
not
no?
necessarily. I mean,
Okay.
any
Any emotion.
any emotion. I mean, rationally, I don't have much to say, because I mean, I concentrate myself in music so much that I leave the rational part for the last. And when it's time to go through the lyrics, I'm so exhausted sometimes that I don't even know what to write. So
Yeah, I hear you. I get that fully. I get it.
yeah, and I don't want to put politics into it or philosophy or whatever. I mean, I'm not into literacy. So I just write what I feel at the very moment, and when I read again the lyrics, I have no idea what I was thinking. So
I love it. That's great. I love it. That's so good. And I know exactly what you mean, because I will look back at lyrics that I wrote and been like, what the fuck are you talking about here? Like, what is this? It doesn't, what is this? I don't like, I tend to write really kind of sci-fi, not evil stuff, but more like just what's going on in my head. And I can't always make sense of what's going on in my head, right?
that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, because I mean, if I was a singer and just a singer, I would concentrate on it much more. I would focus on it much more, and But you see, I have to write music, and it's time consuming, and I'm happy like that. I mean, Words of Indigo, it means words made of emotions.
I think my friend Peter here has a great point, Carmelo. He says Novembre always sounded more than death metal. Songs enveloped in emotion and introspection. That's a great way to put it.
That's right.
Because the introspective part in particular just speaks to exactly what you just said, in that you can't always pinpoint exactly what you might mean with the lyric, because it's a sometimes it's an analogy to the thoughts you're having in your head for the world around you, and the things in your personal relationships with your friends, with your family, with your partners, or whatever it might be, or your children if you have them. It's the dichotomy of all those things colliding in your brain. And sometimes there isn't a true meaning. It's just, hey, this is what I was feeling, and what the words that I could come up with at the moment spoke to me to say. Yeah. So, someone else mentioned that the blue reminds the artwork for Words of Indigo reminded him of the blue. You guys have a real deep relationship with color blue. If you really look back through your artwork, there's a lot of blue that comes through it. And could you put that into words, what that might mean to you as far as the color blue? Is it a favorite color of yours?
In a sense, yes. But there's been a lot of gold also, for the first album. It's a goldy, and also Novembre walls,
greenish,
yellowish, yes, colors. So what can I say? Colors are 7. You cannot invent new hues, and sometimes you stumble upon a color that you have already chosen. So blue is relaxing. It's the color of the ocean that I grew up next to, and I miss it a lot, because in Rome there's no ocean. We are within the country. So that's pretty much must be that.
Well, I think too, maybe you'd agree here. When I listen to Novembre, I hear a lot of blue. That's if we want to get into synesthesia, that synesthesia thing with colors and sounds. There's a synesthesia between Novembre and the color blue that really just works so well, I think.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the album here in terms of tracks real quick. Interestingly, Sun Magenta starts off kind of with an intro that's pretty much a musical intro for a good couple. I think it's like 2 minutes or a little longer. And you know what it reminded me of right away? The first thing I thought of was Caught Somewhere in Time by Iron Maiden. It has that. It's not quite as maybe like dramatic, like the da 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 da, but it has that very spacious and huge sound, right?
Yeah, it's the relation between the 3 harmonies, which very Maiden, yes. And I understand why you might feel like that. Sure.
Yeah, but then it kind of transitions into the vocal parts, and I want to pull up my notes here, because I make notes when I listen to these tracks of my thoughts a little bit, and I'll be interested to hear what you think. This song has a lot of Novembre tells, and by tells, T-E-L-L-S, yes, tells, like familiar feelings, okay?
Yes.
And by that, I hear that almost sunny. It's almost sunny, like poppy almost in a way. When you start in with you've got a really cool, clean tone that's washy and chorusy and a little bit of delay in there. It's just got that beautiful, gentle, sort of rolling you in sort of feeling. And it's got a bounce to it. There's like a bounce to it. And then you kind of unleash that monster inside, right? And you bring out the screams and the harsh vocals. And it's this boom, like just getting punched in the face, right? And man, you got some great shrieks and screams in there, and then suddenly it's not quite as poppy. Okay, it's poppy, but it's got teeth. It's got teeth now, right?
That's right.
The next track, Statua.
Yes.
Statue. I'm assuming, is that?
Yeah.
Okay. Really heavy, really driving. Lots of soaring melodies. Again, that interweaving harmony stuff is going on, which is a Novembre thing, and you brought up Opeth, and I know for a fact Opeth, as for me as well, I got into Opeth with Blackwater Park. My good buddy Steven Wilson,
Uh-huh.
I just saw him. I just hung out with him this weekend. He was in the U.S. and hung
Oh
out
yeah,
with
I know it's touring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw 3 of the shows. I saw 2 Philly and 1 in DC, and we got to. I'm an old fan of PT, and Steve and I go way back to 1999, and
Great.
we hung out, and you can definitely hear some Porcupine Tree in these songs a little bit. I think, in my
Okay.
opinion. But I got into Opeth. I don't know when you got in. You were probably in before me because maybe a little bit of our age difference. But Steve brought me into the Opeth camp.
All right.
And really, to be honest with you, Opeth was kind of the first death metal that I opened my mind to, because earlier stuff like the Florida death scene, the obituaries, the deicides, things like that, I liked the music, but I could not get into the vocals, man. I'm like, these vocals suck, man. I mean, everything else is cool, but these vocals are awful. Opeth was the band that opened the door for me and went, okay, maybe I've been coming at this wrong. Am I wrong in saying that you are a pretty big Opeth fan?
No. I mean, for my criteria, the Kings. I mean, at the top you can find Paradise Lost, Gothic.
Sure.
At the Gates, Gardens of Grief. And no, if you listen to that mini album, you would notice that they created something entirely new out of pure death metal. And then comes Opeth with the Orchid. It's
Orchid was your album. That was the one that really pulled you in.
Absolutely. I mean, I met them in person back at that time. I mean, they didn't even have their album out. And when we went to Sweden to record our first album, Wish I Could Dream It Again, Opeth was Orchid was already recorded from 1 month, and it wasn't out yet. And Don Swanner said, "Hey guys, you gotta listen to this." And we were like, "What?" I mean, the way the guitars would intertwine with each other was like, this is something entirely new.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Unbelievable. And I mean, so yeah, I'm a big fan from that era. Yeah, sure. And then we toured together, and now we're friends and everything.
Yeah, I saw a picture of you. You were hanging out with the guys. When was that? Was that last year or this year?
Last year. Last year.
Okay.
I went to see them.
Yeah. Man, still putting out. To me, Michael's one of the greatest composers of metal ever. I mean, he's just that guy. He's that guy, right?
Yeah.
And of course, at the time, I don't know that I'd say now because he's older and he's trying to change his approach, but in the early 2000s, the 90s and early 2000s, man, nobody had a growl like that guy. Nobody.
Nope.
No, nobody. It's just
no. I remember when I was in the talks with Century Media for signing, I would say, guys, do you know Opeth? And they would say, no. I say, what? You don't? You should give them a listen. And in a few months, everyone was...
everybody knew about him, yeah.
Knew them. So, I told you.
Yeah, I've hung out on an Opeth bus or two in my day way back when. It's been a while, but I knew those guys pretty well. And of course, when they went out with Porcupine Tree in the United States, they did a U.S. tour for Damnation. Opeth was doing the Damnation sets, and PT was out, I believe, for In Absentia. So they were kind of doing the heavy and light sort of juxtaposition. And yeah, there was a few nights that a few beers were drank. Let's just say a few beers, just a couple, not many.
Let's stop there. Okay.
Let's stop there. Yeah. So the Opeth thing is, what a track for me, like Statua has a very Opeth-y vibe. It starts out very heavy, your vocals are really scathing and intense, right? But what's really interesting is you fade into a really washy chorus, a very beautiful chorus, and then the song just kind of gets very progressive, almost weirdly jazzy at the end. You've got these cool piano chords that are going on in the outro and the fade out, and it's kind of this, it's just a really cool sound that I'm not sure I've quite heard that sound before with you guys before. That last maybe 2 minutes of the song is kind of something a little bit new. Would you agree?
Yeah, this is that was a very good experimentation with piano and atmospheres and everything. I wasn't sure how far it would go. I said, okay, let's go for it, and let's see where. Yeah, let's see where it goes.
Now, are you playing the keyboards, or who's playing most of the keyboards on the album then?
Oh, that would be me.
That is you. Okay.
Yeah.
But are you doing the piano stuff there? Or is that the live keyboard? Oh, that is you. Okay. Wow. Was your first instrument guitar, or did you take piano first, or?
No. My first instrument was guitar.
Okay. All right.
And then I messed around with the keyboards.
So you taught yourself to play the keyboard.
Yeah.
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 What kind of now? I'm assuming that most of that was software, right? Plug-in type stuff, right?
Yeah.
What are you using there? Like, can you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, it's Bandcamp.
Really, Bandcamp?
No, Bandcamp. Sorry, GarageBand. Sorry.
Really, GarageBand.
GarageBand has amazing sounds. It's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't really know it. I mean, look, digital technology now is so insane that it's really, insane. You just don't. You can't. You kind of can't. I mean, I still come from the I want to have an amp on stage with me, but I use this a lot. So, I mean, there's so much power in this thing right here, and so many killer sounds that to record, you'd be crazy. You don't need to go into a studio and go through 8,000 mics and 8,000 different heads. You can get all those things right there in that box for the most part for recording. So, my favorite track right now, my current favorite is Neptunian Heart. Man, the intro stuff.
There is a video coming out for the song.
Okay. Could we play that song at the very end? Can I play that out?
Yeah.
You cool with that? Okay, we'll do that then. When we wrap up, you can dip out and I'll just play that for people to hear. Man, dude, there is some incredible guitar work on here. Some incredible lead work on it. Again, just the intertwining harmonies and melodic melodies that are interweaving and I call it kind of spiraling. There's like a spider-like web being built throughout this song of beautiful, beautiful, beautiful melodies.
Thank you.
Your growls are extra subterranean on this one, man. I mean, they sound just really vicious and savage, right?
Right.
Which, I mean, how do you access that? Like, is there a trigger you have to pull, or is there how do you get that to that spot? You don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm a little sorry to disappoint some of you guys, but this time around, I consciously decided not to push too much, because in the past I went on studio and screamed my lungs out, only to realize that when you mix it, it's all the same, even if you put all your energy or off of it. So this time around, said, okay, I don't want to ruin my vocals, so I would just not overdo things.
Okay.
And it still sounds good anyway.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's when I say half of the job is of the sound engineer. It's the sound engineer and how good he is, and taking all the right frequencies and bringing them up. So that's what Dan is a master. So
he is a master, no doubt about it.
What
and
about?
Really, I mean, you're right about one thing, that the growls and the screams on here are kind of gauzy. They have almost a layer of gauze over them, where you're not pushing them out front. With the exception of one part, which we're going to talk about. It's my favorite part on the album. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know.
All right, we'll get there in a minute. It's my favorite moment on the album. It's not you, though, that's doing the scream. That'll give you a little hint.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. It is the most awesome part.
That's chilling.
It's chilling is the right way to put it, man.
Yeah.
You set it up so perfect. We'll get there in a minute. I'm not going to go through every track, but I did want to talk about a couple more here. House of Rain. Talk about that track, man. What an epically beautiful. And you're going to have to say her name because yeah, go ahead. Tell us about that.
Anne-Marie Edwardson.
Right, and she was from Third and the Mortal, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Are they back? Are they back?
They're back. I've heard. I mean, they have been touring South America, and they're doing a couple of shows in Europe, and hopefully new music. I am such a great The Third and the Mortal fan. Sometimes, you know, when I mentioned the great bands, you know, I put them on top of that, and I loved both their lineups, the one with Kari Rueslatten and the one with Anne-Marie Edwardson. But the albums with Anne-Marie struck me in more depth. And so in 2001, I got in touch with her, and she sang on a Kate Bush cover we did back then.
Oh, right. Cloud Busting, right?
Cloud Busting, yeah. And for this one, I remember when the riff came out, and I said, okay, this one is very special. I mean, it's an anthem, something that you can recall for a long time.
Oh, yeah, it's an earworm big time, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you cannot, this is no normal stuff. I mean, this is a very special song, and I thought, okay, maybe a female vocal can sing besides me. And since now she lives in Sicily, mind you, from Norway. Wow. Yeah, okay. Now she lives in Sicily, in my hometown. I mean, now I am in Rome, but I grew up in Sicily. Okay. And just incredible. And we got in touch again, and she was very happy to do it. So I took a plane, flew to Sicily, and we recorded it. It was amazing.
Oh, so you recorded it in the same room? You were there?
I was there outside, of course.
Right,
yes.
Right.
Yes.
Wow, very cool. I was wondering about that because...
And it was very funny because she speaks English, and the sound engineer didn't speak a word of English, and she also spoke Norwegian, and her daughter was there translating for everyone of us because she knew Italian, Sicilian, Norwegian, and English, and she was a big help. Without her, we'd be lost.
That was her daughter.
Imagine
that. Lucky for you that she was there. That's great.
Wow, wow. This guy couldn't understand a word of English. It's incredible these days.
Well, let me ask you about that. You've been speaking English since how old?
I don't know.
Little kid or later?
Little kid. Yeah.
Okay. Have you been to America?
Just once, to Miami. Yeah.
Okay. Was that to play a show or to visit someone?
Yes, we played at 70,000 Tons of Metal.
That's right. When was that? That was 19?
It was 23. That's right.
Okay. Yeah. Man, I didn't actually know about that. I'm not a big fan of the cruise idea myself. I don't like being out on the water away from land, to be honest. I know they're giant and you don't notice, but plus every person I know that's ever gone to one of those things comes back sick as hell. So I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that. But had I known you guys have been there, I would have thought about going. Have you ever, a little bit of a sidetrack here, have you guys ever gotten offers to come over and do something like Maryland Death Fest?
Well, in the past, there's been a couple of offering, but didn't go through. And also there's been an attempt to make a tour, but that was a long time ago.
Okay.
And, for some reason it didn't work. And let's hope. I mean, I really want to visit.
Well, all right. We'll touch on that at the end here in a moment. Back to House of Rain. Man, just a soaring vocal melody, and it's a duet with Anne-Marie. Did I get it right? Anne-Marie?
Anne-Marie, okay.
And you two kind of intertwining your vocals. Sometimes you're linear, sometimes it's her lead and you are like the harmony, and it's an absolutely it's a beautiful track. And I'm not really a big fan of what I would call the Beauty and the Beast type thing, and I wouldn't exactly call this track that. I would call it more of a Third in the Mortal type track, or more of a Gathering type track, or something like that. It has that big epic sound. Absolutely beautiful song. Your Holocene was the first video, the first track that came out. And I have to be honest with you, man, when I heard this song, I was like, this doesn't seem, initially, the first listen through, I was like, this doesn't seem like the obvious single. But after listening to the album a couple times and going back, I'm like, no, wait a minute, I was wrong. It is kind of the obvious single. Again, very poppy almost in its song structure. Yeah. And tell me a little bit about that song. Was that an early one that came along, or a later one, or?
Wow, I
don't
can't remember.
Yeah,
perhaps one of the earliest. Yes, but on the decision to choose that song as the first one, it was a very difficult one, because me as a musician, I am not to be asked to, because I'm not objective. So
yeah,
we talked to Peaceville. What do you think, guys? I mean, they said perhaps we should go with the Holocene because it's very catchy and everything. And I said, okay, guys, if that's what you think, I can only agree, because I wasn't absolutely objective. I mean, I was tired. My ears were tired, and then I wasn't sure what would be the right first episode for the band.
Well, the intro to reintroduce you again after so many years, right?
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that either. So, I mean,
you bring up a great point too. You're listening to these tracks over and over and over and over, and adding and subtracting, and after a while, you do reach a burnout phase to some extent, right?
And you're so into it that you're no longer able to look at the picture from outside.
Right.
And there's no helping it.
That analogy of these songs are my children, and it's like picking your favorite child. It's very true. It's very true. You can always maybe pick out the one song that you're like, ah, shit, I wish I wouldn't have put that on the album. Or that's the one that I really was iffy on. But when it comes down to saying, like, if you say, hey, what's your favorite songs to listen to of your catalog? It's like, dude, that's like saying I got 5 kids and I got to pick which kid I love the most. At certain times, I might really not like that one kid for a while because he's doing X, Y, or Z. But at other times, that may be my favorite kid because the love is so strong, right? It's kind of that dynamic, right?
That's right.
That being said, do you have a favorite track on the album right now?
I think perhaps it's a head-to-head. The one is called Hypernote, which...
yeah, we're going to talk about that song.
We're going to talk about that. Maybe Onde, which is the last one.
That's a beautiful song. Not the way I would have thought you would have ended the album, but it works perfectly.
Yeah, and surprisingly, was Don Swano's favorite one. I mean, he wrote me a very long email about it. He said, it sounds like a very lost gem from the 80s that you forgot about, and all of a sudden you listen to it on the radio and you're like, wow, I forgot about it.
Very Cocteau Twins to me.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And but the whole album is, we're very happy with it.
Let's talk about Hypernote, because what does that translate to? What's that mean in English? Or does it not have a meaning?
What? Which song?
Hypernote?
Hypernote translates like in hyper night.
Hyper night. Okay. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. Oh man, the way that track builds and builds and builds, and then it takes you way down into that dark part of night where everything's quiet.
In the dead of the night, yeah.
In the dead of night, UK there, okay. Man, dude. And then the one part on the album that fucking head fucks me every single time. We get to that moment where you're building, slowly building, and then this fucking shriek comes out of nowhere, and it's a banshee howl. It is so killer. I know I'm giving away. This is a little bit of a spoiler alert here. What made you do that, and who did that?
Okay, no, when you write the songs, sometimes you think that two songs, they look too much alike, and you say, okay, I gotta differentiate. I gotta come up with something that makes it different. And I think it was the second song that ended up with a reprisal like that. And I wanted to come up with something different. And the scream came to my mind. So no wonder that I took it on the internet. I took it on. You go on YouTube and you write "screaming girl" sound effect.
You just pull a sample then?
Yeah, I took a sample. It was for free, and it fit perfectly. Perhaps I had to stretch it a little bit longer.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like a miracle every time. Every time that something works, it's like how. How does it work like that? I mean, I don't know. It's perfect. And you jump out of your chair when you're so submerged into the music, and the screaming comes to your ear.
Yep.
Yeah.
It absolutely is such a killer moment. It's kind of I guess in a way, I'm looking for a CD I wanted to show you here real quick. See if you know this band. I might not be able to put my finger on it here. Here it is. Yeah, I do have it. I want to point this band out to you because you should definitely check these guys out if you don't know them. Because it reminded me of something that they do on a song. And I saw this band live open up for Alcest recently, earlier in the year. Do you know this band? Kelam Mikla? From Iceland?
No.
All right, I gotta send this to you. You gotta check this out.
Please, go ahead.
I think you'll love this, man. But there's
Where are they from?
Iceland. Or no, wait. No. Finland.
All right.
Yeah. So you know right away it's Finland. It's gonna be good, right?
Yeah.
I forget the damn name of the song though, man. I can't remember the name of the song. You'll just have to check it out. You'll really dig this.
Okay.
Are you a fan of Alcest at all?
I think they're good. Very good.
Yeah. So it has a vibe like that, but really it's very steeped in evil Cocteau Twins, I guess would be a good way to put it. And by that I mean like a lot of very Sisters of Mercy bass lines that are really cool and driving. And it is Iceland. My bad. It was Iceland. Sorry. I was right the first time. I shouldn't have second guessed myself. I think you're gonna really like this, Carmelo. Check that one out there.
Absolutely.
I'll put it in the private chat before we leave here.
Please, yes.
We'll get you out of here in a few minutes. But man, Imminent, oh my God, such a killer track. I gotta be honest with you, I almost could have seen the album end right there on that, like right there. Just kind of faded out there. But like you mentioned, Onde. What does that translate to?
Waves.
Waves. Okay, yeah. Perfectly.
Angular.
Yep, undulate.
Yep, undulate. Yes.
Beautiful song. What I really dig a lot about it is you end post-poetic with the sort of the international call, the beep beep. And then you go into this beautiful birds chirping, sound of nature sort of vibe, water in the background again.
Yeah, there's a radio going on. Faint radio. Yeah.
And it mixes and washes into Onde, and it's just this beautiful, gentle, lilting. It has a little bit of an Alcest sound to me, just a little bit.
All right.
But that's just I'm trying to kind of triangulate it to something that I know really well. But it really has this beautiful, gentle, just tuck you into sleep, tuck you into bed, right? It's just got that calming, soothing, serene sort of Zen sort of feeling to it, right?
Yeah.
So Don's not wrong. He's definitely onto something with that there. I think how do you like looking back now after working on this for the last 3 years really hard to get it out and finish it and everything? But really, again, like we said, it's been closer to 9 years since the last album came out. How do you feel about it? Like, what so far? What are you hearing back other than just what I've said to you? I mean, other people that you've spoken to.
Well, what I've heard so far is a very good feedback, which I don't necessarily expect. I mean, we knew it was a good album, but we'll see what happens. I mean, people seem to be really happy with it, especially the press, and
Was that a surprise to you at all?
That depends on how good Don Suono would have been. I mean, the demo that I could put together was interesting. I mean, you would enjoy it. But to translate the demo to an actual album, I mean, I was really scared that something would have gone sideways. And fortunately, it didn't. And I told my bandmates, guys, we're very lucky because he is translating the demo into a very good thing. And so I was afraid that something would get lost. And in between, you mentioned Onde, that song is really the case because, you know, those guitars are very hard to replicate. You play the demo of it, and then you have to play it again. And
Right.
sometimes something gets lost.
Yes. Yep. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, because they are very delicate parts, and
Yep.
if you don't play it in the same exact way, it doesn't feel good anymore. And if you don't put the right amount of effects and everything, and it gets lost.
Yeah, it's hard to accent certain parts the way that you originally intended them sometimes, particularly when you're down picking or you're doing something with a lot of attack. It's easier generally to get that back.
Yeah.
You know, whether it be for live or re-recording or retracking or double tracking, you know, doubling or whatever. It's generally a lot easier to go in with a hammer to something that's heavy. But
Yeah.
when you're talking about something delicate, it's a lot more difficult, right?
There's one song actually that it's exactly the case, which is Chiesa dell'Alba. There's a crunched arpeggio, and we couldn't replicate it. So we were forced to take the one from the demo.
Yeah.
And said to Don, please make a miracle. And he did. He made it sound good. But we couldn't replicate it. It sounded awful all the time.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why. I don't know.
It's just one of those things that out in the ether. It was special and magic the moment you did it first time. Yeah. You mentioned that song, and I didn't bring that one up, which, man, that's probably my second favorite song behind Neptunian. And I think the reason is because it's probably the most progressive metal song on the album in a lot of ways.
That's right.
And it's got that mysterious sort of vibe that it just sort of builds and builds and builds. And then it's kind of maybe you would agree, it's a sum of all parts song. Where it's I don't know if you isolated parts of it would work as well, but it's when you put it all together, it's got a magic to it that's kind of, like you said, kind of irreplicable, right?
Yeah. There's the very beginning of the song. There's this arpeggio which reminds you of Goblin or things like that, or the Mike Oldfield, the guy from The Exorcist, you know.
Yes.
And you know, they're one of those things that when you write music, they are out of your control. They came out, and you got no say. And if you're lucky, you get a good song.
It's kind of like, as a guitarist, you'll completely understand. I think you just said, I'm going to say it a different way. Sometimes when you play stuff, I tend to write almost all my stuff on acoustic first.
That's right.
Because I know if it sounds cool on acoustic, it's going to sound even better when I throw electric and effects and distortion and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But sometimes you pull that riff out of the air. You pull it out.
It
And you're
comes
like-
to you from
You're
somewhere.
like, where did that come from? Like, well,
Yeah.
I never played that before.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you're like this as a guitarist, but I definitely am, where I'm a creature of habit sometimes. And I'll play a riff and I'll be like, fuck, I've written that riff 18 different ways, and it's the same riff. It's just a little bit different. And why do I always do that? I'm a gigantic Rush fanatic, right? Rush is
Yeah.
my favorite
Wow.
band of all time.
Sure. Sure.
And Alex is probably the biggest single influence in my playing of all time.
Definitely.
And I always somehow find a way to put that F sharp, whatever that chord is, that I forget, it's an F sharp 11th minor or whatever it is. I always find a way to put that in. I'm like, why do I always use that fucking chord? Like, why do I always go there? Why? Because it sounds great. That's why.
That's why.
It's that
Sounds
simple,
great.
right?
Listen, you have to put me that band in the description.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And your band. I want to listen to it.
I don't. It's just me. I'm working on a solo thing now.
I
so
want to hear it.
I'll send you some stuff. Let me let me do that real quick here before I forget. What did I do with the CD? I don't know how to spell it though. Here it is. It's the kind of it's the A and the E that are together. They're together, A and
Okay.
E, but I don't know how to do that on the keyboard. So
Yeah, I figured it out.
when you look it up, just look up the A and E together. There's a name for that, and I can't remember how you do it. Kelan. Let me do this real quick. Kaelan. Meek La. It's man. Just look up Kelan Mikla on YouTube. You'll find it because the title of this is massively long and it's in Icelandic. So they have a couple of albums that you're gonna dig these guys. I think you're gonna really dig them.
And put your music as well. I mean, I wanna listen to it.
I will. Can I get your email address from Austin?
Sure.
Okay, I'll get it from Austin then. I'll let him know.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, actually, before we leave, if you'll type it in the private chat. Do you see where the private chat is down there?
Yeah.
Right at the bottom there. Just hit that down arrow and it'll pop up. And I put the Kelam Mikla in there. And then if you type your email address in there, nobody can see that, just me. And I'll do that. I want to wrap up here quick, but I had a couple like tie-in questions. So the first one was, and I think this is a very real one for a lot of artists. When you know you've put so much effort and time into creating these pretty magical, very magical songs, do you have a concern at all that like you put this really valuable and beautiful piece of work like Indigo out there, and because there's such a sea of stuff, you know, the internet is great in that it gives a lot more exposure to a lot of stuff, but it also creates so much a soup
confusion.
Of mediocrity, right? There's so much crap out there. Do you worry about something like this getting lost in the sea of madness, so to speak?
No, I don't worry about it. No, I'm sure that the music gets wherever it's meant to go.
Good way to put it.
Yeah, and everything balances out in the end. And no, I never think about that.
Okay, I was just curious because that I was wondering. I didn't figure it was a big concern, but I just wondered if that was like a late at night thought in your head, like, man, what if I did all this work and nobody's really going to see what an incredible album we put together here. But it is, like you said, it's meant to get to where it has to go.
Yeah. Also because, you know, complex music like ours or other bands, it's not always understood by the normal listener.
Right.
The normal listener, not being a musician, is not able to differentiate this from that. They listen to your music at a different level. So
yeah, different frequencies.
I'm used to that since the very beginning. I don't fight it. I mean, there's no.
That's a good way.
It's like asking me to understand the difference between a painter and another. I mean,
yeah,
I don't understand that. So
and as human beings, we all have preferences. So obviously, not to bag on Metallica because they were a critical band for most of us in metal, but I haven't listened to anything from Metallica since Load and Reload. I'm just not interested. Just don't do anything interesting to me anymore, or for me at all, and that's okay. It doesn't. There is a listener for 72 seasons and a listener for To the Bone or whatever it's called, and that's okay. That's they're still a very relevant band, obviously, because they sell out massive stadiums. They're the biggest band in the world, obviously, from metal, anyways. But this is a special album, Carmelo. You really should feel extremely proud of it, man, after all the work that you put into it. This is the beauty about November is that it's an amalgam of sounds that there's a lot of places you can point to. You brought up some of these albums like Gothic and My Dying Bride and Turn Loose the Swans and Opeth Orchid and all these reference points. They're all there. The Cocteau Twins, the 80s Tears for Fears vibes even on some of these songs a little bit.
Yeah.
But what you do with it all in the stew that you make that creates the Novembre sound is very unique, I think. It's and I'm glad to have it back, my friend. I really am.
Yeah, and I hope, and I'm sure that it's going to happen more frequently. No more 9 years.
I can mark that down right now. I can write that down.
You can.
Hey, what are there any plans? Because let's be honest, for a band like Novembre, it's not a financially easy thing to do a major tour. Maybe of Europe would be much more, obviously, a lot more feasible, and of course,
not in this times of war. So let's see.
Right, we've got that we're dealing with. Yeah. What kind of is there any long range plans you can kind of throw out there, or is there not anything really in the works at present?
No, there is something in the works. I mean, we have management that is trying to put something together, but it's really too early to say.
Okay. Yeah. Peaceville, is Hammy still? He's still alive, right?
Who?
Hammy?
Yes.
But does he still own it, or did he sell it?
No, he sold it.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
But you've had a long-standing relationship with them, and were they surprised when you said, "Hey, by the way, I got an album to drop," or had you been in contact with them for over the years?
Oh, he decided to sign us, and he was a big fan, and we were fans of his work with Peaceville, and we were really shocked to hear that he was leaving it. And but life goes on. I mean, he decided to retire, and now he's enjoying his life.
Well, he had cancer. Is he okay right now, or is he in remission?
I have no idea. I knew that he had a problem. Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah. And
but that was a while ago. He brought that up, so maybe he's in remission, or they were able to get it under control. Let's hope. So
let's hope, because I don't know.
Yeah.
He kind of vanished, actually.
Well, maybe he'd had enough. He'd been in it for a long time. I mean, it's kind of a grueling business in a lot of ways, especially while he's not a major, he is kind of a major, sort of in a way, in the death metal and the doom, and that obviously the Peaceville 3 with Anathema.
Yes.
And I forgot to bring up the Anathema vibes. There's some later Anathema vibes in some of the stuff you're doing too, which I love the later Anathema.
Well, it depends what you mean later, because no, I am hardcore early Anathema fan.
Yeah, I get that.
Until Alternative 4, I'm
what an album.
Yeah.
What an album that is.
Beyond that,
not so much.
Yeah, not so much.
I like a lot of later stuff. I'm going to be honest. I do. I think Danny's one of those special songwriters. But I guess what I was kind of getting more at was maybe the later albums, the last 2 or 3, where the brighter, more poppy side of their sound, I can hear a little bit of Novembre reference points in the poppier stuff that you've done, maybe. So, But let's see. My buddy Rick here wanted to know if you were a Theater of Tragedy fan.
First two albums, I love them. Yes.
Did you put your email address in there? Did you just hit send?
No, yeah, I think I will. No, I haven't found it. I will write you through.
Yeah, through Austin.
Austin.
Yeah, just hit Austin up. Tell him to send your info on to me, and I'll send you some stuff then. Yeah, man, dude, awesome fucking album, just fantastic album. I'm so excited for you guys. You didn't talk about one thing. I knew what I wanted to close with. Talk about your new band though, because you mentioned them briefly at the beginning. A few of these guys, in particular, I think your bass player has been around for a little while.
A longer time, yeah.
Yeah, but talk a little bit about these guys. Boy, you got some hot shot guitar players, some lead shredders. Right. Got some shredders, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Talk about these guys and where you came up with them and how they got on the
album. Alessio was suggested me from a guy and said, this guy's good and he's reliable and everything. I talked to him and we started working together from home. I started putting together a few solos. I mean, he was the right guy. He knows music. He is a teacher, and he knows the theory and the harmony and everything. And eventually he suggested that I should get in touch with Federico and Yuri. And he was right. Boy, he was right. These guys are incredible. Federico is amazing, and Yuri is an amazing drummer. And as you mentioned, Fabio plays with us from a long time, from the Dreams d'Azur era.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he was bass player for Materia and URSA as well. And what can I say? Couldn't have been better.
And you don't play guitar live anymore, right?
That's right.
Because you focus more on the vocal aspect of things, right?
Yeah, and I have hard time keeping up with technology. I mean, I'm not into the stuff. I much rather playing guitar when I'm home.
Yeah.
Because live singing and producing the right sounds, and you need the right equipment, and you need to focus on that. And no, I cannot. I don't have enough space in my hard drive,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm buddies with Kelly Schaefer from Atheist, and he used to play live, and he's got two young hotshot guitarists now that kind of come out, and he got a great band around him, just young guys, a lot of young dudes. So I don't know, you're probably in that same, I don't know the age ranges of your band, but it looks like you got some young cats in there.
Yeah.
So age happens to us all. It sucks, but it does kind of happen, and you got to kind of go to your strengths. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah. I'm 51.
You're 51. I'm 59. So I know what you mean. And a lot of us guys in this era of metal, we're in our 50s now, or maybe some of us are even almost in our 60s. Some of us are in our 60s. The Metallica, the thrash guys, the Testament guys. And you know what's crazy, man? A lot of these guys are still out there just kicking fucking ass, man.
Wow. I saw Testament a couple of years ago. I couldn't believe it.
Dude, the new album might be the best album they've done in...
What the hell? That's amazing.
Yeah, like how does that happen? That's great.
Yeah. Also, great. Coroner. Perhaps Coroner.
They're going to be dropping their new album. I think the same. Today maybe. Was it today?
Yeah, today.
Yeah,
it's.
I saw them twice for the first time back in March. They came and did a U.S. tour. Met Ron. Man, those guys are fucking crazy good live.
They don't give up, not one bit. That's incredible.
Do they have an Italian drummer? Or am I wrong about that?
They have an Italian sounding. They are Swiss. There's a part of Switzerland that speaks Italian. So
yeah, I think one of their drummer though, he's either South American or he's from that region. But
I don't know.
Yeah, killer band live. My God, Tommy's insanely good, man. Yeah. That was fun getting to finally see them after all these years being a fan going all the way back to Mental Vortex, which probably was maybe the second or third like extreme metal CD I ever bought back in the day. So
incredible albums.
Yeah. Hey, listen, Carmelo, I want to thank you for so much time. I don't know if he warned you, I tend to get pretty deep into this, that I like to do long form interviews. So
it's okay. I mean, great interview. Great fucking interview.
Man, let's keep in touch. Let's get through Austin, get to me, and I won't bug you a lot, but we'll back and forth a little bit. I'll throw some cool stuff at you and probably vice versa. But this was a real joy to get to meet you and to tell you that, man, you're back. You're back.
Yeah, we're back.
And I'm glad. I'm super glad. Because this album is fantastic. I can show you. Well, I won't bother you, but I have my order in. I hate to say it through Amazon, but it was the best place to grab it fastest. And I have the album coming, the vinyl. And this is one of those ones where I'll probably double up because I want to have the CD too for the car. I still go old school in the car. I don't plug my phone in. I go with a CD copy, you know. You can see, I don't know if you can see real quick here. That's just some of my box sets. You can see.
Wow.
This is the vinyl that's not shelved right now.
Shit.
There's a fuck ton of stuff.
Yeah.
So
amazing.
I'm that guy that still spends my money on my bands. I'm gonna do it until I die, and then my kids are gonna go, why the hell was he buying all this stuff? Like, he could have just streamed all this stuff, you know?
Yeah.
But that's not me.
They don't understand. They don't understand. That's
not me, man. They don't. That's true. So any final thoughts, any parting things you want to say to your fans out there or anybody that's going to catch up to this?
I hope to meet you guys somewhere, sometime. I mean, you are the best, really.
Well, we really appreciate it. You should be very proud of this album. I'm glad you guys are back. Like I said, I'll say it again. I'm just really glad you guys are back. And, you know, it's hard to go away for a long period of time and not be relevant for a long period of time, and to come back and be a little anxious about, well, what are people going to think? What are they going to say? How's it going to go? But when the material's this strong, it's... Yeah,
we don't even think about it. Yeah.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull up that we're going to play a track, and you can dip out if you'd like. You can just, unless you want to stick around and listen to it. You probably don't. But I'm going to play Ipernotte. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. And we're going to check that track out as the closing here. And Carmelo, I want to thank you so much for an hour and a half of your time today. Really fantastic talking to you.
It was great. Great.
And get in touch with me through Austin, and we'll go from there. All right, man?
Absolutely.
All right, brother. You have a great evening, okay?
Right. Same.
Right. See ya.
Bye, man.
Ciao. All right, we're going to do this track here quick. And someone in the chat, let me know if you can hear it then, please. By the way, this is an instrumental, but it's killer. Wow. What a killer track, man. When that scream kicks in, that is some fucking cool shit. Very progressive, very ethereal, very beautiful, but also some really cool, that chromatic thing is super fucking wicked. I'm gonna tell you, man, that this album is really goddamn good. And I wasn't necessarily expecting it to be, as I was pretty open and honest with Carmelo. I just, being away for almost 10 years, you just don't really know what to expect. Not in any way, shape, or form to denigrate his songwriting talent or anything like that at all. It's you just don't know, right? You don't know that the inspiration's there. You don't know that the times haven't changed or passed some artists by in some respects. But thankfully, not the case here, man. It's an absolutely beautiful album, start to finish. Only one track on the album I might have been like, yeah. But actually, the weird thing about it is, I would say almost every track on here is over 5 minutes, with the exception of the interludes. Most are in the long six range. Some are even in the 7 range. Very progressive tracks again. But none of them are boring. None of them are like, all right, let's skip it and jump to the next one or whatever. It's not that kind of an album at all. And, I don't know how it's going to strike younger listeners. I hope really well. But this is one of those bands, if you know, you know. And I'm glad I know. So The Blue is one of my favorite albums of all time. This one's really, really, really good. Really, really good. I really hope big things for Carmelo and the guys. I hope that they get to play some shows, maybe get a tour together. I would love to see him in the U.S. I'm not going to hold my breath on that, but thanks so much to Carmelo for doing that. By the way, guys, while we were listening to that song, I remember that at 12 o'clock, the Rush general pre-sale went on for Getty and Alex. I have 2 dates up here. August 3rd at Madison Square Garden, I am number 126,012 in the queue. So 125, 250,000 people are ahead of me. I wonder what they're doing buying all those tickets. And I'm 158,905 in the July 30th show. So needless to say, it does not seem that the guy that's been there since 1978, me, as a Rush fan, is going to get to see this band. I refuse to pay $1,000 to get a good seat, even $600 to get a good seat. But apparently that's what you got to pay, thanks to Live Nation and Ticketmaster. Dynamic pricing. So yeah, I will probably keep these up for, I don't know, half an hour, sort of glance at them. I really don't think there's going to be shit left on any of these sites for buying stuff. I'm going to have to buy one the week or the day of show, maybe, if somebody's looking to get rid of stuff. So that's that. Real quick, on Tuesday, my buddy Luis Torregrossa, who most of you don't know because he's not done a lot of stuff with me, but he's doing more. We're planning some stuff here. Tuesday, we're going to do the first 10 Santana albums, deep dive the first 10 Santana albums, plus Moonflower, which is the semi-live, semi-studio album, double album. And that is going to be at 8 o'clock on Tuesday night. And then on Saturday, next Saturday, Eric Berg from Psychic Vacuum and I are going to tackle the 15-album catalog of seminal UK prog band Camel. So we're working on, I got a lot of listening to do over the next 10 days. And I got a bunch of shows I'm going to or hoping to go to in that interim. So thanks to everybody that showed up. We had a nice turnout for Carmelo this morning. I don't generally get up this early, but I did pass out pretty early last night and was able to get a decent amount of sleep and make my notes this morning when I got up. So Carmelo, again, thank you so much for joining me. And yeah, I think that's it. And thanks everybody for being here. November 7th on Peaceville Records. Words of Indigo by Novembre. Again, thank you to Carmelo for joining me today. And thanks to everybody that stopped by. Peace out.